Okay, this is like the fourth time I've done this, so I hope this is working this time. I think I've got all the components that are necessary to do it. This is Irreverent Health, I Can't Even Meals, and it's a next segment in new meal preps. So yesterday I made bone broth. The reason I made bone broth is because it's good for your belly, it's good for your joints, it's all the cartilage and the collagen that seeps out when you do a bone broth. And go back and watch that. It took me not even 5 minutes to put together, and then I got this glorious goodness, all of this broth. Show you all of this wonderful broth from that. And what's really cool is that I can use it in a bunch of different ways. I mean, I can drink it if I want to make a pre-workout the night before I work out. I could just take a shot, like, you know, this much, and just drink it in order to help my body. But I also just kind of want to have some fun meal ideas that aren't meal prep the traditional way that I've always done it. So for me, when I tried meal prep, I would be successful for like a week, maybe two, but then life would happen, or I'd want to go out, or something would get disrupted in my schedule, and I needed, and I just didn't follow through and continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. And if you're not in the industry of health, like, it's really difficult to keep doing that same. So instead, what if we did something simple, like created a bone broth and then used it a bunch of different ways? Today is a lean and green kale curry sausage, kale curry sausage and cauliflower rice soup. The reason I like this is because it's warm, it's delicious, it's got lots of like great chicken sausage in there, it's got lots of really great flavor, and it's super easy to make. So I'm gonna start with, this is what I had in the freezer. I had this little guy of chicken sausage, and I had this guy. So I had a spicy jalapeno chicken sausage. So that's what I had. So all I did was I cut those up, put them in a pan, and just heated them. The next thing that I'm gonna do now that I've heated that up is put in the curry. So I have about 2 to 3 tablespoons of curry. That's gonna give it a really wonderful, like, oh my gosh. The curry has this like smell it's sort of like cinnamon, but it's just beautiful, rich smell that feels almost sweet. It's kind of crazy how great that is. So now I've tossed that in there with it. I have paprika, red pepper, garlic powder, and salt here that I'll toss in there as well. So again, right, this is taking me all of like a couple of minutes. And then here's the thing, with the bone broth, I was thinking about like putting the bone broth in here, but then that would limit me to this pan of soup, like one. And if it's meal prep, what I want to do is have bowls that I can like put together and then add the bone broth to it. So instead, I have a bowl. I'm going to put some cauliflower rice in the bottom of it. And again, this is, ooh, whoopsies. That is going to be fun to clean up. I'm super glad that happened. Put a little bit of cauliflower rice. If you're on the 5-in-1, you're probably gonna wanna measure out maybe like a half a cup or something like that, unless you want more rice than kale. But kale is gonna be the other thing that we're gonna put in there, but I'm gonna show you a trick on how to cut that up. So I've got this guy, and so actually, I'm gonna take that chunk out. Over the top of this, I'll go ahead and put the bone broth in there. I'll take a cup or 2. So I reheated, I don't know if you can see this or not, let's see. I don't know if you can see, it looks so diva because when you do the bone broth, what happens at the top of it, it looks like glitter. It looks like chicken glitter. That's absolutely amazing. So now I've got the cauliflower, which is cooking in the really hot, which I should put this down, the hot bone broth. And now I've got the chicken sausage that has all the wonderful flavor over the top of it too. So I'm gonna do one more thing before I add that to this. I'm gonna take some kale. Again, I was initially planning on doing a whole bunch of kale. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna put it all in there. I'm gonna use that kale for maybe a salad or something. But I want to show you a trick. So kale can be intimidating. I've done this before because of this stalk, because it just looks really big and ugly. I like to cut, whether it's a salad, whether it's soup, I like to cut it really fine because it breaks down some of that hardiness and some of that bitterness. So to take the stem, which is really bitter, you can, if it's really fresh, you can take this and then pull it, but when it's not fresh, which is what just happened, that breaks off. So then you can just take it and peel like this, because you really don't want that in your soup, that bitter part. So I'm gonna take this, see if I can pull this back to where you can see it, far enough where you can see it. And to make little ribbons and make really quick work of it, I am going to roll this little puppy up. And I love kale because it's one of those things that is really great for the digestive system because of the fiber that's in it. So if I'm ever having, a hard time, you know what I'm saying? Hard time, fill in the blank there. Kale is a really great way to get me going, smooth moves. But I also have never really preferred kale raw, and the way that it tastes has just been too hearty. So now I've got these, and this is gonna be really messy, but whatever. You see, this is now like ribbons. So I'm gonna put that into the bowl. So right now I have chicken bone broth, cauliflower rice, and kale. It already smells de freaking licious. Now I'm gonna add the piece de resistance, which is the kale, the sausage. So I'm gonna add, if you're on the 5-in-1, you'll measure out your lean here. But I'm gonna put probably about 4 ounces in here and then stir this puppy up. Now, if you wanted to make sure, have the flavors marinate and marry together, that would be awesome. You should do that in one big pot, and that is great. You could put, what you would do is have the sausage, and then you would put the bone broth in there, and then you would add the kale and the cauliflower rice, let that kind of simmer for probably about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes on a medium heat so that it all kind of gets together. But if you have no time, don't be afraid to do the I can't even meal style of this and just get your nutrients in a way that's actually still really delicious. It's just not as developed as it would be otherwise. So here's the last thing. A little bit of cheese never hurt. Well, unless you're on the Whole 30. If you're on the Whole 30, sorry. If you're paleo too, sorry. You could do an alternative cheese, I'm sure, or something. But I'm just gonna put just a tiny bit of Parmesan over the top of that. And then let that kind of melt in there. But hold on one second. It's just stupid good. It's curry and it's salt and it's you've got the heat. I like a hot curry, so I put red pepper in there. You've got the heat from the red. I'm sorry, that's paprika. Here's the red pepper. You've got the heat from the red pepper. You've got this cinnamony kind of sweet, but also, I don't know how to describe curry other than curry flavor. But then you've got the heartiness of the sausage. Hold on. The longer that sits, the more that those flavors are gonna marry together. So I gave you an I can't even meal. Hold on. An I can't even meal version of that. And then you can do a full-on version. So I think that's it actually. If you like this, oh, Patrick, what are you saying? You should make a YouTube channel. Funny you would say that, Patrick, because I have one. It's called Irreverent Health. So if you would, Patrick, go over to the Irreverent Health YouTube page. What I'm doing right now, and I keep saying this, I'm posting my Facebook Lives on there, and then eventually I'm gonna make some content that is more edited that will reside on there as well. But thanks, I'm so excited that you want a YouTube, you want to go play on the YouTube channel. But tomorrow or another someday, Rodgers, pull it together. I'm going to show you 2 or 3 other recipes that you can use the bone broth for. At least one of those will be another soup, but then I'm also going to show you how to cook, do a salmon Reuben with bone broth. I can show you how to do tacos with bone broth. So it doesn't have to only be a one and done, like a soup thing, because I like soup, but I don't like soup that much, I just don't. So I'll show you how to use that as the week progresses. But go and subscribe to the Irreverent Health YouTube channel. Also, if you like this too, I have collagen in here, so CB Supplements collagen is what I use. They're local, they're awesome. They have all the amino acids and they have 5 types of collagen, which normally you're limited to 1 or 2, but they put all of them in there for the price of what you would get for just the one. So they're awesome. You can go search CB Supplements, or I can put it in the in the channel too. So one more time, if you're doing a lean and green, doing a 5-in-1, you would portion out your chicken sausage, you know, for your lean. And then as far as the spices are concerned, if you're making a big pot, the portions that I just gave you is pretty much perfect for that. And then the bone broth would be probably like a condiment for you. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. If it was, let me know. You're making me hungry. Yay, that's the idea. That's so great. I'm glad. But yeah, if you have any questions or had an idea for something else, let me know. Okay, honestly, why do I try to rush it? I don't know. Have a happy Saturday. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay.